Hello everybody, thank you for clicking in and hanging out with We'll Fix It Team. So, behind me over here, on this side of me, I've got a 2015 Chrysler 200 and radiator needs to be replaced. And we're going to make it a quick video so you'll understand what it takes to get one of these in here. And hopefully it helps you if you're trying to do this on your own. So stick around and while I answer this phone. All right, here we go. First things first, we got to get this piece across the top here, which is the whatever you want to call it. You can call it whatever you want to, but it's a big plastic piece, and we've got to be very careful to get these clips off. And I'll use a couple of, actually, I'll use 2 flat blade screwdrivers to get them up partially the way, and then I'll use a pair of side cutters very carefully to finish pulling these out. Then we'll put them all in a nice, happy, fun box so that we don't lose anything. And then we'll peel this piece up, and then I'll show you where we're at after that. And in some of these cars, which to be honest with you, I have not done one on these, so we're doing this together. But you end up having to remove the whole front bumper, which isn't the end of the world, guys. Don't be afraid. You just got to be really careful and vigilant. All right, so let me do that right quick here, and we'll move along. Thank you, guys. And don't forget to hit the like button if you like this video. I'm going to show you my 2 screwdriver technique. This keeps from messing these up. I got to get underneath it. Just kind of got to get right that there. Now I just kind of get them started. That's the main goal here. Get these things. I get on both sides of this one, and I just get them to pop up a little bit. So that's the start. You can see I just kind of, then I'll go behind it with a pair of side cutters, really gently. Show you that real quick. So I'm move this closer so you can see me a little better there. Let me get this down some more here. There we go. Let's get that nice and, as Bob Ross would say, happy little clip. Let's see how that looks. Just want to gently remove these things and be very, very, very nice to them, so that we've got the center part out, and we've still got the middle part that's still in there. This takes a little time. If you want to save these clips, you need to take your time on them and not get in a rush. Okay. There, we removed this one successfully. That's a good thing. You may, if these are older clips and you haven't, if this video is years down the road when you see it, you may have encountered the fact that time has done its damage to the plastic just because. You may be very careful and not have a success of saving the clips. But at this point, that's what we're doing here. So there's 2 that I got out successfully. So I'm going to do the rest of these like that. It'll take a little time, but it's well worth it in the end. So we've got all the necessary hardware loose. The big piece of plastic is, I've got it tipped up over there. As you can see, we've got this all loose, but it's connected right here. And what we're going to do is just remove this bumper skin, and that'll make things really a lot simpler. And so on this one here, to do that, there'll be some hardware you've got to remove on the inside of the inner fender well. There, it looks like an 8mm self-tapper, or coarse threaded screw bolt, whatever you want to call it, down through there. And then hold on, let me get underneath real quickly. It looks like we've got a series of some hardware like below this bright light right there, and it kind of goes around the front. And we may end up pulling this other piece of plastic, but we won't unless we have to. So we just basically want to get the bumper skin off first to see what it's looking like. So let me go ahead and remove those hardware bolt thingies. And then another thing real quick, let me show you this. Once we get this hardware off around the outside edge, there should be a screw that usually goes directly up right here around this edge corner to keep this in. Well, we're going to remove that. It'd be a Phillips head or some sort of something most of the time. And then when you remove this, you've got to just kind of, it's sort of a thing, you just got to pop real easily right here. You just don't grab it and snatch. You want to try to work it a little bit because it's latched over some little hooks, or little snaps. And if you do it right, you won't pull the little skin loose that holds the little parts that lock it in. You'll see when you get this popped off, and I'll show you here shortly. Okay, so what we've got in here now, I did have to pull the lower skid plate stuff down. And the reason being is because once I got the hardware loose on the inside of the fender, I was like, man, there's a lot of connections with headlights and stuff. Well, not headlights, but You know, I started just unplugging things individually, but I was like, this looks like there's something else because the wire was secured in all kind of different places. So let me just plug that back in because that's not, it's gonna, I'll show you where I found what I found. There's a bulkhead connector. It's over here. It's on the driver's side. And right there it is. You can see that bulkhead. I'm gonna put my light on it right here. This is a bulkhead connector, and it will enable you to not have to remove all the wires individually, because there's another like some kind of rain sensor, some kind of sensor right there that's connected in the front. And then there looks like we've got something related to the washer fluid tank as well, but I don't think I got to move that because the bumper's not hooked up. But it's all these wires that you can see that go all along. So you want to disconnect this bulkhead connector right there. My light's terrible, my camera, there it goes right there. So we got to get that disconnected, and then I think we're pretty much ready to pull this bumper off. We've got some wires that go up to the top here, but that's all part of the bumper, so I think we're good. I'll see how it goes here. All right, so I've got the bumper off, and what I end up having to do, I got the screw at the end, and I had to drill one of the rivets that hold this plastic piece of the fender because it had it just pinched so tight. I did not want a chance breaking these off. So on both sides, I released, of course, this bulkhead connector you've seen. That connects right here. I pulled it apart so that way I released all the wiring. And then I used my drill. I think I used a 1/4-inch bit. And I got this one rivet out the end here, and I'll just put a new rivet back in place, or a nut in the bolt, something like that. But that allowed that to release without snatching these off. And then it also kind of snaps up under the headlight right here, and I had to be real careful to get them off of that. And so now I can get access to a lot of the stuff that's going on in the front here. I'm going to have to pull the looks like I'm going to have to pull this piece off right here and some other doodads to get the radiator's going to come out the front. So just a little bit more. It's going to be kind of involved. That's what it looks like. So we'll keep moving along with it. But as you can see, there's little snaps up underneath this bumper right here. You can put your fingers and feel that. Okay, so update. We've got the metal bumper inner thingy off. Of course, both headlights, I took those out first. And to get the bottom bolt out, or bottom adjuster thing, you just take and you got to twist that with a pair of pliers, and it locks in right there. Then there's a retainer bolt back here that holds part of the headlight in, and then it'll come out. I disconnected the plug in enough, and then I slid it back. You won't with the air box in the way. It's right there. And then when I remove the bar that goes across for the bumper structure thingy, whatever you want to call that, then there was a series of guards, like air dams, to direct airflow. You can see I've got it over there. The piece that's in the front that had the hood latch thing mounted to it, I just pulled the wiring harness off, took the bolts around it out, a couple in the front. And now we're starting to get into some peat potatoes. It'll be where I need to start removing some of the AC stuff. And I'm going to pull this out, and I'm going to swing it out and figure out a way to support it so it's not dangling. That is the power steering cooler. And then we've got the AC condenser in the front here. We'll pull this out and let it swing out. Probably use a jack stand or something to hold it up so it's not dangling by the lines for too much. I've got to disconnect the quick connects for the hoses for that. And then the radiator, once I remove some of the support stuff, will come right out the front there. Then we'll we'll swap the fan assembly out to the new radiator, and then reverse procedure and start putting all the little stuff back, and basically just being really careful with all the clips. And so let me go ahead and move on along a little bit more. Okay, so we're about to pull the radiator out. I've got everything unhooked. As you can see, I just kind of tipped that up, and that's doing well. I've got the AC condenser out. I haven't discharged the AC or anything. I've got it sitting on something so it's not angly dangly. And I've got the, like I say, one other thing too, if you don't want to watch the whole video, which is about there, but this little thing that looks like a petcock or a drain is actually a bleeder. So when you fill this thing up with coolant, you want to open this up. You want to go ahead and get everything hooked up, fill it up with coolant while you can still reach this, and open that up till coolant comes out. That way you bleed all the air out of the radiator. I guess they, strange how they did that, but you would think it would self-bleed with the hose at the top like that, but still, we're going to use what we have as long as the aftermarket radiator comes with it. So let me set the camera up, and I'll pull this thing out. All right, here it is. Let's get this thing. That's where it's going to come out in the front. Bam, bada bing, bada boom. We got it out. It's busted on the tank on the side right here is where the problem is. So I'll lay it out, swap the fan assembly over, put the new one in, start hooking everything back up, and get this thing done. All right, it's done. Let's take a look at the finished product. We've got it running here in the stall. Let's see how it looks, guys. Let's flip this camera around. Well, there it is, back together in its entirety. Definitely, it's a bit of a job to do these, but that's what it takes. You have to pull all that stuff off and put it back together. We saved all of our clips. Everything looks real nice and uniform, back together like it should. All the covers are back underneath it, and everything's plugged in, I hope. Let's turn the lights on it to see here. Let's see how this works here. I gotta turn these lights on somehow. Yeah, let me figure that out. Oh, these new cars have knobs everywhere. We got them on, and all of our plug-ins are plugged in. We've got that. Let's see here. So my headlights weren't on. I'm like, what did I forget to plug in? And apparently I've got two blown headlights. I took and put them on my probe. I'll show you. I put it on my power probe there and put power across the terminals so it wouldn't light up. I don't know if you'll be able to see. You can look at this one. Well, it's hard to get in focus, but there it is. Look at that right there. So I don't know how long the people were driving it like that, but they must have been using this to fog lights or something. But definitely, so I've got two bulbs coming for it. But so far, no leaks. I pressure tested it before I put all this together because I knew that it was an extensive repair, and so I didn't want to put it all together and have a leak elsewhere that would be easy to get to. So I already pressure checked it with a pressure tester. It looks like this. One of these things right here. I pressure tested it with that, and it checked out okay. And there's the old radiator that I took out of it. Doesn't matter, let it fall. And I've got a sinus infection that won't quit. That's why my face looks swollen. But we're working. We don't back down. We don't give up. We don't give in. Thank you for clicking in. And more stuff to come. Appreciate all the new subscribers, and hit that bell. Always working on something out here. Peace out.